So this is going to be my equipment tour video. I'm going to just get right into it. I'm gonna start with combines. We have 3 790 combines. Number 1, that one's name's Preston. Number 2, that one's name's Frank, I think. And number 3, this one I think I'm gonna name Bertrude, just because it looks like a Bertrude. On these 3 combines, we were on 40-foot FDs. So this one is a 740 FD, 3rd season I think on it. This one here is a 640 FD, 4th season on this one. And this one is a RD40F on the number 1 combine. Number 1 combine's Brandon's combine. He gets the newer head. Mom gets the oldest head, which is the 640, and I get the middle-aged head, I guess. That's just kind of how we've always done it. Before these combines, I'm gonna go back to the beginning. Back before 2009, we ran 6601s. That's a pull type John Deere combine that looks like this. Old John Deere combines. That's what we ran before. We ran 3 of those before 2009, 2 or 3 of them. We had a bunch of them, I don't know. I was only 9 years old at the time. I think we had 4 of them. A couple of them are for parts, but we pulled them with old tractors and that's all we had. We were way behind on the whole farming side of things, especially grain side. But we made do and made work with what we had. And then after that, in 2009, we ended up buying a 9610 John Deere combine, which I feel like most of you know what that is. This is what a 9610 John Deere combine looks like. It was a 1999 model, I believe. We ran that for several years. That was a huge upgrade. One of them would do what 3 of those 6601s would do. We had that combine until, I can't remember, probably 2017 or 2018, I think. And then we ended up getting a second combine because we were growing. I believe it was in 2015, give or take a couple years. We ended up getting a second combine, which was a New Holland CR 9070. And that's what it looks like. So then we ran with 2 combines from there on out, from 2015 on up. And that was a great machine. We loved it. It ate like an animal. For the first few years we had it, was pretty reliable. It was a pretty new combine to us. And then I believe when we got rid of that 9610, we bought a second CR 9070. So then we were running with 2 New Hollands. We liked the machines. They were great, but we were starting to run into service problems. We could not get service for them. We loved the machines. They ate like animals, but to get people to work on them, to get parts in our area, I know it's different in other areas, it was next to impossible. We were broke down for too many days at a time. It just didn't work. So then in 2019, we had a really wet year. We were getting nervous whether or not we were gonna get our crops off with the 2 combines. After wheat harvest that year, which was the last year we ever did wheat, we decided to go purchase a 680 for a 3rd combine so we could get harvest off as much as we could because it wouldn't quit raining, it wouldn't quit snowing. So we bought our first 680 John Deere combine and topped it with that 640 header. And then previous year after that, we ended up getting rid of one of the New Holland combines, got a second 680, and then we were running with 1 New Holland, 2 680s. Awesome, service was great. Them 6 John Deere S680s were great machines. And then the year after that, we got a 3rd 680. We were running with 3 680s, and then we were looking at, we should maybe get these a little bit newer, get them upgraded just the way our farm is going and whatnot. We were looking at going new, which is what we did this year, but that jump from a 680 to a new 780 would have just been too much taxes wise and whatnot. So we ended up buying 3 780s last year, and then this year we now made the jump to 3 new ones, which is awesome. These are the first combines, brand new, our farm has ever seen. I mean, it's such a blessing, and I am so thankful and grateful that we finally got to this point that we can actually buy new combines, that we get to be, as one of you said, the first person to fart in a combine. It's kind of a blessing, honestly. It's very fun and very exciting. We've come a long way. So that's basically the history of the combines. I'm not gonna get that into depth about everything else. Next, we'll come over to our grain cart. We never had a grain cart until I don't remember what year. We just dumped out of the trucks. That's just how we did it. We didn't have the manpower. And quite frankly, we just didn't have the money back then. We ended up going to an auction and kind of accidentally on purpose buying a grain cart, and it worked great. It was like 1,000 bushel, just plain old Jane grain cart that we hooked up to a tractor that was way too small for it. It was an awesome cart, but we grew out of it. We ended up buying a 2020 Underfirth grain cart, so it was a 2,000 bushel grain cart. And now we just traded last year, or the last fall of 21, for this guy. This big 2,500 bushel grain cart is awesome. A lot of you ask how we are able to run 3 combines with only 3 trucks. We don't raise the biggest crops around here like they can out east in Minnesota and Iowa and whatnot, but this thing right here is how we can do that. This big cart is just, when you can come at the beginning of the day, it's wet, get all the trucks empty, get this cart empty, make sure all the combines are empty, start completely empty. With this thing, we're able to, for the most part, sometimes I'll have to jump out of a combine, go jump in a truck. We're able to keep the combines going. This year might be a little different because we do have a bumper crop, which I'm super excited for. Pulling our grain cart, we have one of our 3, I like to call them quad tracks, but some of my buddies hate that. They're RXs, he says. They're not quad tracks. This is our second quad track RX we ever bought. This one's a 2017. Great machines. They're so, I could go on and on about this thing, but you get it. Here's one of our RXs. So here's our latest RX. It is the new one, the 9RX 640. I love this thing. It now has the John Deere engine instead of the Cummins. Don't get me wrong, I like Cummins, but this engine is awesome. More fuel efficient, it's more quiet, doesn't burn nearly the DEF, plus they have a bigger DEF tank on it. They're really getting these tractors like as good as you can get. We order all of our tractors. They have to have the twin pumps. This one's got the above and beyond so it can run the C850 cart in the future if we ever get it. And it has to have a PTO. So if, say, that RX breaks down and we need another tractor for the grain cart, we have it. Also got the Signature Series cab, which is awesome. That means you got massaging seats and all the fancy gizmos like the Harley pegs down there. It's so cool. I love this tractor. I just wish I could drive it more. Moving on from that, that's about the only equipment that is in the shed here. I'm gonna go outside in just a bit. Okay, I now stepped outside. Here we have an S850 Bobcat. We got the big ones because, as you saw in previous videos, we pick a lot of rock, and these big machines work really good for that. Plus, when you got to move chemical totes, like right down there, this has no issues lifting it. They're great machines. This one's a 2016. This is the 3rd one of these we've had. We always ran 2 Bobcats for picking rock. We traded one of the S850s in for this mini payloader. It's a 244, or what are the letter are they on now? L. It has skid steer attachments. I love it, but skid steers still definitely have their place. Sometimes it's better to be in the skid steer, but in that you don't feel like you're in such a dank box. We have a 8R 370. I love this tractor. That Command Pro joystick in there, I think is what you call it, maybe not, is awesome. It just, that IVT transmission makes for driving this thing so fun. It's so smooth. Like, this is maybe my favorite tractor to drive on our entire farm. Over here we have our first 9RX we ever bought. This one's a 2016, so it's the first year they came out with the quad tracks, whatever you want to call it. It is a 620. Hooked up to it here is our 14-yard scraper. Back in 2007 or 8, I believe it's 2008, we built a feedlot, which is where I'm standing, would have been a feedlot for feeding cattle, and we needed to do dirt work. So prior to this tractor, like 3 times, our first 4-wheel drive tractor on our farm was a 9270 Case International. We got it with, the tires were basically race slicks, 0 tread on it, so Dad got it super cheap, and we never ended up really replacing any of the tires. And that pulled this scraper, and that did all the dirt work for our feedlot. I will show you a picture of the feedlot in the office later. So this is one of our scrapers that we still use every day. That was kind of a blessing to us that we ended up doing that because we still use that all the time. Over here is our second scraper. It's a 21-yard. That cat scraper that got converted, it was like the self-propelled driving ones that got converted into a pull type. Brand new used C12 corn head. We just got this like a few days ago. We traded in our 612 corn head. It's brand new used because it is brand new. It's not been used. The paint's still on it. He ordered it and got it too late last year. He had already finished harvest when this arrived on his farm. And I'm sure the next year he did a mud deal, got new ones. So we ended up with an awesome steal of a deal on that. It was great. And here we still have our second 2009 612 corn head. They're not chopping, they're not folding. It's just a plain corn head. Yeah, it's the cheapest one. And you know what? It works great. So over here we have our 13110 Brandt HP auger. We bought this because we built some grain bins across the road up there. I don't know if you can see them. And we needed an auger to get into them. Hooked up to it, we have a 7R 210. Also love this tractor. It does not have that Command Pro arm like the 8R does, but It's still got the Signature Series cab, super comfortable. Such a fun tractor to drive. And we do have a loader on it because we move bales every now and again. Coming over here, we got our lowboy trailer. We bought this because we need to just sometimes haul equipment. We had that combine blow hydrostatic out a couple years ago. We needed to haul it. We didn't have a trailer. And now that we bought our large excavator, which I'll show you in a bit, we needed a way to definitely haul that. So this spring, we finally went and purchased ourselves a lowboy used. It's a 2014 model. Awesome trailer. We haven't used it a lot, but it came in handy quite a few times. And one of the neighbors called us up and said, hey, can I borrow your trailer? My something went out on it. I don't remember. The final drive, was it? On his tractor? We're like, yeah, come get it. This here is, you could call it a box blade. I call it a blader. We got this once again back when we got our first scraper in 2008 to build our feedlot. Here, I love this thing, but I also hate it, is our 30-foot Wilrich chisel plow. It's just a cheap chunk of steel to turn dirt. As you guys seen in previous videos, in order to break the pasture up that we do, we use cheap instead of new chisel plows to go over them rock, because rock are just hard on stuff and they destroy it. So we'd rather destroy this few $100 or $1,000 chisel plow that was sitting in someone's trees forever that needed to be scrapped instead of a new nice one. So right next to it here, we have our two 1890 60-foot drills. They're both 2011 models. This one here has like almost 90,000 acres on it. It is a very high acre machine. We bought it with a lot of acres. I mean, we rebuilt everything on this, to the front pins, the disc, the shoes, the things, the everything got replaced. This one only has like 45-ish thousand acres, give or take a few. This one has a 430 bushel cart on it versus that one has a 350. Here we have a M15, I guess, John Deere Woods Bush Hog is what I like to call it. It's a rotary mower, but some people say, hey, I'm out bush hogging, and that's a brand of rotary mower, and there's a lot of different brands. So it's an ongoing joke with me and my friends that we call that a John Deere Woods Bush Hog. Over here next we have our conveyor auger. This thing is the handiest thing you can have on a farm, and if you don't have one, you basically need one. I don't know how we ever went without this. Next here we have our two rock pickers. We are always picking rock. These make it a little bit easier, but they're kind of getting wore out, and I'd like to see something bigger and better. If anyone's got some ideas. This is called a rock rake, and this spins really fast and just keeps going along and raking the rock, bouncing them forward, and then it rolls down there into that wheel. It spins up. This spins by gravity, or it spins backwards or whatever, the other direction, and then it gets kicked into the bin here. Over here, this thing should be in the shed, but for some reason it's parked outside, is our case. This is one of the few case things we have left on our farm. Case made an awesome sprayer. In my opinion, Case had a better sprayer. Now, I don't know, I kind of like the Deere better. Them newer ones are pretty awesome. It is a 4430. I think it's a 2013 model. There's not many hours on it. I don't even think it has 2,000 hours on it. 120 foot booms, 1,200 gallon tank. And then the John Deere, our second one I'll show you later, it's got the skinnies on there, so this one usually goes in the wetter areas. Is our John Deere 824K payloader. A lot of people would say it's too big for a farm payloader, but for all the rock we do, we never seem to find enough jobs for this thing, and it's not too big for what we do. Very rarely are we ever like, oh, I wish I had a smaller payloader right now. Like, that just doesn't happen. This thing's awesome. It's a 2014, I believe, and it is almost ready to turn over 2,000 hours. We got a heck of a deal on this thing. It is a pre-def unit. I know a few of you are curious if you're lasting this long at least. Our 2016 RX has 2,500 hours on it, and our 2017, I believe, maybe just turned over 2,000. That one's a quite a bit lower hour machine. Over here, we have our 18-foot Wishik disc. It is a heavy disc. It is good for ripping up really hard soil. It ain't very big, but we still use this thing all the time. If you want to rip sod, it works great. Great for taking out fires too. We've had to use that a couple times. This is our Lofness F1210 floater, spreader, tractor. I don't know. It's a pull type spreader. We'd like to do variable rate, and we really struggle with getting variable rate on this thing. It works. We've used it for quite a few years now, but we would like something a little bit better. I don't know. We don't know what the right answer is. Now over here we have our 40-foot quick till. These things are awesome. So like if we're breaking up some alfalfa or some sod or anything, we'll first take that Wishik disc, rip it, hit it twice with this thing. These high-speed discs are just awesome. Here's our junk pile. Everybody's got one. Ours is awfully small. We hauled our 30 plus years of scrap out this summer. We got a decent price. We had some time, so we got rid of it all. I hauled it with this gooseneck, and it took a bit of a beating. The boards are pretty, broke a few of them over there. This is a triple axle. We got this triple axle to haul that mini excavator over there. 10,000 pound axle, so we can haul 30,000 pounds. And this one here is a Minnesota. This one's a 40 foot. Same thing, triple axle. Personally, I like this trailer better, mainly because of the jack. I don't like the jack system they have on this. Here we got our little tiny gravity box, 250 bushel, solid unit. And believe it or not, we somehow find uses for that every once in a while. Here's our large excavator. This is a Case CX350D. It weighs about 80,000 pounds. I mean, go big or go home. We went big. We just got this spring. That's what we got the lowboy for too, is to haul this big beast. With all the rock that we have, it works great for digging holes to bury them. Every farm I think needs an excavator. This thing's gonna have never ending uses. We're gonna get a lot of use out of it. Okay, so those of you that are wondering, this is a 2021 model, I believe, and it only has like 1,400 hours. Over here, we got our 2017, I think, Bobcat mini excavator. We move snow with this thing sometimes. It's just a handy tool to have. You know, I was saying I love this shop so much. Yeah, not this door. Come on. I think there's someone in there.
Compensated for having to help. You're welcome.
It opens that easy, huh?
It was really easy.
It didn't open from out there. This here is my friend Zach. He's an idiot.
Yeah. Nice to meet
This
you.
here is my brother Cameron. He is one brother under me. So the oldest is Brandon, and then it's me. I'm second oldest, then it's Cameron. I'm 23, he's 21. He's the skinny little feller that gets into everything when I can't, because as one of you said, I'm healthy. Okay, so here's a picture of our farm, the feedlot I was telling you about we built back in 2008. This is a picture of our farm in 2011. We still didn't even have our old shop yet. This down here is current day with the big new shop and all the fanciness. Here's one from back when Grandpa was still here. Yeah, Zach, you want to show him your Blazer?
Gosh, yeah.
Guys, this here is Zach's 2000 Chevy
Blazer. Sunroof and all. Let's see what we got. We're working with, I can't remember how to say that. Samatos.
He's really proud of this thing.
We got the mailbox dented hood and Deere, so it doesn't really shut right, but that's fine. This door doesn't shut, so to get to shut, you kind of have to slam it, and then it shuts.
He says this thing's minty.
It is.
He just loves it.
Yep.
How many miles you got on the whole rig?
186, I think.
Still breaking in.
Yeah, brand new.
Brand new. Okay, enough with the Blazer. So here we have another not green tractor, but it was a lot cheaper. This is our garden tractor we use for our large garden. It is a something, I don't know. It's a Boomer 45, whatever that means. In here we got our toys. We got jet ski 300 something majiggers. We got 3 of them. Gotta have fun sometimes too. I got my pontoon in here. It's a pontoon. This is probably my favorite piece of equipment on our entire farm. Is this DB60 24 row 30-inch planter. We just got this last year. John Deere really knows how to make a planter. This thing is awesome. It was one heck of an upgrade. But yeah, this is maybe my favorite piece of equipment. Cameron, what would you say is your favorite piece of equipment on our farm?
That sprayer trailer has been really nice.
Probably one of the best sprayer setup units you can have. Here we have our, I think you call it a dash fiber sprayer trailer, and this we hook up to the semi. We got a 3,200 gallon tank up front here. I think it's a 4,200 gallon tank in the back. A cage for all your boxes, as you can clearly see there on the bottom. And then we can set 2 totes up top, 4 up there, 2 down there. And then a lot of these are gravity fed or air pump, which the air comes from the truck, which is cool. We can have our 1,200 gallon sprayer filled in 4 minutes, I believe, 3 or 4 minutes. It is quite the unit. It's set up with a 3-inch pump, got a boom on it with a giant hole in the hose here, Cameron. I think we maybe have to address that.
Yeah, it was a little bit of a blow up.
Yeah, I actually did that. That was me. If anything's ever broke on our farm, just blame me. It was my fault. It's got this awesome boom, as I was saying. Makes for handling this 3-inch hose a little bit easier. That stuff gets heavy. This is our 2019 R40 45 John Deere sprayer. 120 foot steel booms, not carbon fiber. I think John Deere maybe has the sprayer figured out now, especially with this thing. Brandon absolutely loves running this thing. It's got a 1,200 gallon tank on it. This one's got the skinny so we can fit in between our 30-inch cornrows. Okay, so down here we have our 3 semis. These are the only semis we have. 2022, we bought them new last year. They're Internationals HX 620s. They're all 3 the exact same thing. They are topped with a Cummins motor, 565 horsepower, 2050 torque, and automatic transmissions. They all only have like 7,000 miles, so they only have 1 season on them. We do have a pusher on them and a pretty wide spread so we can haul a lot of weight. All 3 trailers are the exact same, except for one's a year older, one's a 22 model. Triple axles and then a tag in the back. We love this. Like I said in a previous video, I believe that these are the best trucks to have on a farm, or I should say our farm, because they pull short. I mean, I explained more about that on the other video. You guys can go take a look at that. 3 of the exact same identical things, just different color trucks. This is our service trailer, Thunder Creek FST 990. It's basically a 1,000 gallon fuel trailer. Also has onboard def, a couple toolboxes. And in the back there's an air compressor. We like it. I don't think that we would run anything else. As of right now, in my opinion, this is probably the best fuel trailer for a farmer, at least for our operation. So this thing right here is a 98 Chevy half-ton. We call it the poop box on the farm. This is Cameron's rig. We're gonna go up across the road and show you guys a little bit of equipment that's out there. Zach, this thing and your Blazer could get married.
Dude,
we could have a wedding for it.
Oh my gosh.
And here we have our 91 foot land roller. This thing is awesome. When we got those 2 drills going in beans, this thing's actually able to keep up. But you need a really big tractor to pull it. Down here we have a Brandt. I believe it's an 80 foot heavy harrow. We don't have wheat anymore, but we bought this for kind of busting up sod, and after we're done picking rock. A heavy harrow does not bring out more rock like a chisel plow does, and we are no-till. So once we get them picked and it looks clean, we run across it with that to smoothen it out. Next to it here we have our fertilizer caddy. This was hooked up behind our old Kinsey planter. We never used it this year. We don't want to get rid of it because who knows what our fertilizer system is going to be in the future, and it's a good unit. It's fine. We have our 12 foot Diggleman. I believe it's the actual brand is a Wren grain bagger. I really hope we don't have to use this thing this year, but I got a feeling we're going to be. And then over there is what unloads the bag, that yellow thing. And we got an old cultivator that needs to go to scrap. Now we gotta go introduce everybody.
I'm Cameron. I'm the middle child. Nobody remembers me.
I'm Zach. I'm Joey's favorite.
He wishes. I'm gonna see if I can get my healthy butt up that hay bale. Yeah, I don't know if this healthy man's gonna get it.
Oh wow. Woo! I don't know if you call that an ape or a monkey.
On our operation, it is only family. Some of you have been wondering who is who and who's all working. It is only family. So it's me, second oldest. It's Cameron, third oldest. It's my awesome dad, not my brother. My beautiful mom, JT. He's the, what are you? The fourth oldest? Yeah, perm boy. And Brandon, who's the oldest, and he is not here right now. He's the blonde one. And then we got the youngest here. We got Mason. He doesn't help a whole lot in the field. He does a little bit, but he mostly makes us food and keeps us fed on long days when we're out in the field. So he's also very important on the operation. Okay, so this obsession started with Grandpa, and then it kind of moved down to my dad, and now he moved it down to us. This right here is our lineup of vehicles for working on the farm. We have an obsession of vehicles, I guess, and every single one of these have a use. Every single one of them get used. The side-by-sides, those obviously get used for playing. We have Zach's vehicle because we just wanted to add Zach's vehicle in there. We have the shit box or poop box. We have a pickup, a car, some heavy duty pickups, 2 of them there. Those get used for pulling service trailers and everything. A field runner, field checker, parts runner. More heavy duties that get worked with pulling goosenecks and stuff. We got this pickup here. This pickup has all the toolboxes on it, and kind of also a parts runner, field checker. Another heavy duty. Mom needs her car. Mom needs her car, and kind of just for funsies. That is our giant lineup of vehicles, and they all get used maybe a little bit excessive, but nah, I don't think so.